Now, Kerala police, meanwhile, has filed 4 FIRs and arrested 5 people for allegedly raping a girl multiple times over the course of 5 years in Pathanamthitta, a case in which over 60 people are suspected to be involved. The victim just turned 18 2 months ago. She was only 13 when she was allegedly subjected to rape. The victim was allegedly abused at multiple spaces in Kerala's Pathanamthitta, including sports camps by coaches, classmates and other athletes. The issue reportedly came to light during counselling conducted by the Child Welfare Committee after the victim's teachers at the educational institution informed the panel about noticeable changes in her behaviour. Meanwhile, reportedly, she did not own a mobile phone but had saved over 40 contact numbers of people who had abused her. Kerala police said 5 people had been arrested in connection with 2 FIRs filed by the police, while another person had been lodged in jail in connection to a separate case. The big question that arises is then, why has it taken 5 years for this case to surface? Tahir Hassan is joining us live. Women's rights activist Dr. Bhavna Gupta, psychologist, is also with us live. Yogita Bhayana, activist, also joins us on the broadcast. Tahira, let me make a start with you. Very disturbing news coming in regarding this particular victim who was abused over multiple years.
Yes, very disturbing, and you think about the girl who has been going through the trauma that she has been facing, she has been sexually abused by the 60 people over 5 years, when she was hardly 13 years old that time. So I think this is because of the lack of implementation of laws which have been made for the protection of the women, and this law enforcing agencies, they are not doing their jobs properly. And the women is treated as, the commodity, and they know they can take the law, they can abuse the women. I mean, her voice will not be heard. And another thing I want to say, when the law that have been made for the protection of women, if the few laws by the handful of the women are misused, we cry, the few people cry that all the laws have been misused for the women. Should we change now? This is very dangerous belief, This just give rise to these kind of the incidents. Every day we come across these type of incidents, crimes. It's a heinous crime, I will say, where the women body is violated. Nothing could be more heinous crime than violating the women body. So I think that conviction rate, we talk every time that such a heinous crime has occurred and we shout at the top of our voice. But now we should discuss how to curb these heinous crimes. So the laws must be implemented properly. We have very strong laws in our hands. These tools must be implemented properly by enforcing law enforcing agencies. And second thing, the conviction rate must be increased. Otherwise, it is very difficult. And such cases must be tried under the fast track court. And there should be a limited time. The redressal must be within the limited time. Otherwise, the witness will also get hostile. So I think if really we think of the women empowerment, we are talking of the women Asmita and these things, we must come forward now, discuss that, implement these cases. Stop blaming women for rape or for sexual harassment, their lifestyle, their dress. Or again, I will repeat, if the few laws are misused by the women, these women must be treated as accused. But you cannot generalize it. Otherwise, it's a very, very, very dangerous trend.
Yogita Bhayana also joins us, in fact, now live. Yogita, as far as, of course, now this particular incident is concerned, what makes it even more shocking is the fact that it took so long for it to be discovered and reported. Yogita, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yogita, I was trying to ask you on this shocker. What makes it, of course, even more appalling is the long period of time it took for this incident to get reported and come out.
That's exactly is the problem in each and every case. Most of the cases, rather, I would put it this way. The delay in response. So we don't have that system where these cases are immediately taken for. So that's the first lapse in terms of authorities are failing the daughters of the country. And then we know what happens next. The whole process of judiciary and police, that is later. But the first response is so slow. Even if right now, if I ask you to dial 100 number, and all the hotline numbers or the helpline numbers government has created for women, you will see what kind of response you get, what kind of kind of answers you get, and what kind of help you get, assistance you get. You will be appalled and surprised. So one should not definitely say that everything is bad, but it is right now not in that efficiency as we expect, as we deserve.
Right. Dr. Bhavna, let me bring you in here also now. Dr. Bhavna, now, as far as, of course, now the impact that this must have had on the victim, that her entire behavior has changed. Those were the signs, those were the clues that her teachers, that her, counselors found, which is why, her in-depth counseling happened and actually these incidents stumbled out. Otherwise, one would have never known. So it just shows how much a personality of a woman can get changed because of successive, sexual harassment that this girl must have faced and violations as well.
Exactly. If something like this happens, it completely changes somebody's personality. This is something that changes your psyche because somebody is violating your body. Your body is something that is of your own. And when somebody goes out of the way to hurt you like that, it completely makes your body, which is something very foreign. And I would also like to say that counseling was done now. It should have done beforehand. There should be counseling for girls from early on. She was exploited when she was 13. They've been exploiting her since she's been 18 now. So it's such a sad affair. So this is something that manipulates your thinking as well, because somebody like a coach is exploiting you, somebody who you trust is exploiting you. It changes your whole scenario of the world. It takes away that belief that you can trust anybody in your vicinity. So as I said, it's very important to counsel children very young, because early on you can see the sign. They saw the sign now, but you also have to understand this would have started when she was 13 years old. She would have shown those signs where she's not trusting to people, she's isolating herself. Yes.
Yes, indeed. And also now, of course, as far as, these are now telltale signs that perhaps parents, teachers need to be counseled about, isn't it?
Exactly.
So that perhaps these things can be discovered earlier.
Exactly. It's very important. As I'm saying, also good touch, bad touch is something that children should be educated about, because a lot of the times they do not know what it means, what is a good touch and what is a bad touch, because you are being taught that you need to trust your teachers, you need to trust your coaches. These are the people who are supposed to keep you safe. And when they touch you, do not know if it's a good touch or a bad touch. So parents have to be counseled, teachers have to be counseled, and the child in itself, they have to be counseled as well.
Tahira, 5 years, how come no one knew? Isn't that shocking?
Yes, this is shocking. Often what happens, there is not a friendly relationship most of the time between children and the parents. Sometimes I think the girl must be scared of telling the parents. She doesn't know what is happening. Good touch and bad touch is taught to the children, but when the parents are friendly, then they can go and tell. Sometimes they think, oh, my parent will not allow me to go for this sport classes and all. So many things are there. One has to understand about the girl and the women go through it. Still we talk of women empowerment and we are moving ahead, but women face lots of patriarchal, issues. Like patriarchy is very deep rooted. Just as already said, that whenever the woman is raped or the young girl is raped, they said, it is always said, look at her dress. So dress is, blamed for that. Her lifestyle is blamed. I said earlier, a few days, I think hardly the 15 or 20 days ago, we were blaming. I'm saying I can't blame, but few people were blaming, shouting the top of the voice that all the laws must be removed because these women are misusing. These are the tools they are harassing to men. What is this? This is very dangerous. You say she is accused. Whatever woman has taken the law in the hand or has done this thing, So she should be accused. She should be put behind the bar. But you cannot generalize it. It is a dangerous when you generalize. And when the women come out and start generalizing, it is more dangerous. But patriarchy carry the women also to carry the patriarchy rules forward. Often we say, you go in villages, in the metropolitan cities also, the women come out and blame the women. When you blame the women, you are just creating a society where the women is blamed for everything. If she goes out, she's working in the night shifts, she's working in the multinationals, she's doing night shifts for the living, earning her living, then she will be blamed. No, she should do 10 to 5 job only. Otherwise, she is not good woman and good girl. So this is a thing, you have to see all the things together. And of course, law enforcing agencies must be very alert and sensitize the police system also. And conviction rate must increase. Right now, it is only 26%. Can you imagine? We only shout that women are misusing the laws, but conviction rate in these cases is only rape is 26%, 24 to 26%. How can you curb the rising violence against the women, sexual violence against the women? In other words, it seems that you are justifying it. You are just blaming women's dress and all. So we should take it as a mission, that we should take it to the grassroots level also, like the awareness programs, and teach them about the laws which have been made to protect them. Most of the women and girls don't know about it. So these things should be taken under in account also. You can't, again I will say, stop blaming women for misusing the law. If the few women are misusing the law, don't generalize it. The few are doing, you can criticize to few women. They are also human, take them as accused. Don't take it as a women are misusing the laws. This is very dangerous. This is what I'm saying.
Okay, let me take that to Yogita Bhayana once again as well. Yogita Bhayana, now as far as of course now this incident is concerned, what kind of exemplary action would you urge the police now to take? Reportedly 4 FIRs have been filed, 5 people have been arrested so far, 60 people are actually suspected to be involved in this case.
I have no words, first of all, to kind of, understand how many layers were, kind of ignored. Because this child must have shown a lot of symptoms. It's not that it just happened overnight and it just happened once. It has been happening for years. And similar case I had from Mumbai like a couple of months ago, and the girl was getting constant panic attacks in the school itself, and teachers thought she has some physical ailment. When we intervened and we told that this is beyond physical ailment, this is something psychosomatic, you need to intervene and ask her, then only they got to know she was raped by her own father for years. Are we really talking about all this? Now we need to go beyond it. We are talking about artificial intelligence, so many things in the world, but we can't even read a child's mind. It is going beyond good touch, bad touch. Good touch, bad touch also, if was executed well, I wouldn't have, kind of judged this thing. But what after that? As ma'am also said, they don't have friendly relationship with the parents. Even parents are judging their own kids. They stop them from going to the school or the sports academies or wherever. So we need to go beyond good touch, bad touch. We need to really map what is happening, and we can easily do that. I'm telling you now, we go all the schools and colleges, we get to know from the body language what this child must be going through. So it's not that difficult. Secondly, now exemplary punishment you are talking about, definitely each and every case which deserves that kind of punishment should be getting it. But unfortunately, that is easier said than done. We know how much efforts, it's a task to get one victim a justice. We get so many calls every single day. We can't even say that we will get you justice. As ma'am said, conviction rate is only 27%. What happens to rest of them? It means they get away with it and then they repeat these kind of offenses. Who is to be blamed? The implementation agencies are to be blamed. Laws are there, enough laws are there. That too, we are blamed to misuse them anyhow. Now, whichever laws we have, at least give us the right. I mean, who is implementing? Mainly the IO level investigation officer who represent some documents to the judicial officers. They go by those papers, and the faulty investigations, shoddy investigation. These are all the reasons for all the lapses and injustice. So we need to address all these issues. We can't say that okay, this will happen and this is the result. Each and everything has to be bifurcated in terms of your DNA mapping has to be done in terms of that you need to address all these issues, and then only you can say that you got justice to one girl. How much difficult it is to even get compensation to them.
Yes.
They don't get their compensation for years. First of all, I have issues with the this particular word compensation. Nothing can compensate that. The support money which they get, it is like begging for it. We intervene and then they get it. So many lapses. I can go on and on and on.
Dr. Bhavna, also questions would be raised over the sports ecosystem and infrastructure as well, given the fact that we are learning that she was abused reportedly at camps, by coaches as well and other athletes.
See, first of all, it started off with coaches because people in power, it's easier for them to mute the person completely. They threaten them about their families. They'll say they'll kill their family or they completely change their career or something like that. And gradually, once somebody sees somebody in power doing that to the weak person, everybody joins in. I mean, you have to understand the classmates joined in to exploit her, which is something terrible to even think about. Like children at the same age as her, exploiting her. I mean, that in itself completely disrupts your entire psyche, tortures you completely. And as I said about good touch and bad touch, I mean, at a fundamental level, it is very important to clear that out in the basics. So at least the child, they themselves know that something bad is happening to them, because for the longest period, the child doesn't know that something bad is happening to them, because for them, the person they're trusting is doing something to them and they're trusting that. So in that way, and also I think the society has to stop objectifying women. They have to stop looking at women as objects, because right now, even in everything that you see, women are looked upon as weaker sex. Even in wars, if you see, the first war tactic is hurt the women. If you hurt the women, you hurt the nation. So it's very important for people to change their thinking according to women, especially girl children, because it's very easy to manipulate little girls, saying we will disrupt your family, we will kill you off your family, we will do such bad things to you, and they get quiet because of that. So that's what I would like to say, that as I already said before, that counseling is very important. Counselors should be given at every stage, at class 1, class 2, class 3, because when counselors are aware that something is happening to the child, they will be able to see that there's something wrong, because a child will show symptoms. A child will keep themselves isolated. They will completely shut themselves off from the world. So it's very important for teachers to be educated, and parents, of course, as everybody said on the panel, that parents should give freedom to the child and to understand their child as well. That is also very important. But that will take time, because a lot of times India is a rural place at the time, and also this has happened in a small place and parents were not aware and they were not interested in the child's life, because a girl is supposed to stay home and get married, and education is secondary.
All right, let me in fact quickly leave the last word to you, Tahira, on the road ahead now, on the lessons that we should draw from this and the changes that hopefully should be implemented.
Yes, of course. That the counseling must be done with the teachers also. I mean, they must be counseled, teachers. And there should be a check and balance on the teachers also. What kind of mentality, these teachers were carrying with them in the coach, they're working as a coach, a teacher, you imagine? And the teacher is raping to their students. This is really a heinous crime and very disturbing also for the girls. When I talk about this, I talk about those girls also which go from the remote areas and join these sport colleges and the classes and all. What they think about it, they will be pushed within the four walls by their parents, by these type of incidents when they come in the light, through the media, through the newspaper, So I think this is very important that these people should be punished, and conviction rate must be increased, again I will say. Then only it will set the precedent. Otherwise, next time they will get away, and next time they will commit more heinous crime than this. Because they know they can get away after committing the heinous crime. They can violate the women's body. They can treat the women as a commodity. So I think conviction rate must be increased in these type of cases. That is more important.
Okay. My thanks to all of our guests for joining us on this discussion. We've run out of time. Let's slip into a short break.